When it comes to human sexuality, one of the most fascinating psychological facts is that female orgasms don't always depend on penetration. In fact, many women reach climax through clitoral stimulation, emotional intimacy, or even psychological triggers without the need for intercourse. This challenges long-standing cultural beliefs that equate sexual satisfaction with penetration alone, showing us that female pleasure is far more diverse and complex than many assume. Scientific research has revealed that the clitoris contains over 8,000 sensory nerve fibers, almost twice as many as the penis. What makes this more intriguing is that the clitoris is not just a small external organ, but a complex structure that extends internally with roots surrounding the vaginal canal. This means penetration may sometimes indirectly stimulate parts of it, but it still isn't always enough to create orgasm on its own. For many women, direct clitoral stimulation remains the most reliable pathway. In fact, studies indicate that a significant number of women do not reach orgasm from penetrative sex alone. Instead, they may require direct or indirect stimulation of the clitoris, or a combination of different types of touch and arousal. This highlights just how important it is to broaden our understanding of what constitutes satisfying sexual experiences. But pleasure is not purely mechanical. It is deeply psychological. The brain is often referred to as the most powerful sexual organ. Neuroimaging studies show that during orgasm, multiple brain regions involved in memory, reward, and emotion light up. This explains why feelings of intimacy, being desired, or engaging in arousing fantasies can sometimes trigger an orgasm, even without strong physical contact. In fact, there are documented cases of women experiencing orgasm through thoughts alone, highlighting how strong the mind-body connection truly is. The mere anticipation of intimacy, a sense of emotional safety, or even intense focus on erotic thoughts may be enough to bring about orgasm for some women. This phenomenon is a testament to the remarkable ways in which psychological states, emotions, and even past experiences can shape and amplify physical pleasure. Interestingly, orgasms can also be triggered by activities far beyond what is traditionally considered sexual. Some women experience core orgasms during intense workouts when core muscles contract against the pelvic floor. Others have reported orgasms from breast stimulation, kissing, or even deep emotional bonding. These examples show that female sexuality is not restricted to one formula, but can emerge in countless ways, depending on physical, psychological, and emotional factors. The diversity in what triggers pleasure highlights just how personal and unique sexual response can be. It's not unusual for women to discover new sources of pleasure throughout their lives, often in unexpected contexts. This flexibility and adaptability in sexual response is a feature, not a bug, of human sexuality. Another important insight is that context matters. Women often report that feeling emotionally safe, free from stress, and confident in their own bodies makes orgasm more likely. Conversely, pressure, performance anxiety, or negative thoughts can block arousal even in highly stimulating situations. This proves that orgasm is not just about anatomy, but about the environment, mood, and overall psychological state of the individual. Factors such as relationship satisfaction, trust, communication, and even the physical atmosphere, lighting, privacy, comfort, can all play significant roles in whether and how a woman experiences pleasure and orgasm. In fact, many women find that their sexual experiences and ability to reach climax vary throughout their lives, influenced by changes in mental health, body image, life circumstances, and the quality of their relationships. From a psychological perspective, this complexity highlights an important truth. Female sexuality is multifaceted, flexible, and shaped by both biology and psychology. Unlike the outdated belief that sex should follow a single script centered on penetration, reality shows that women's pleasure can take many forms. Some women may prefer penetration combined with clitoral stimulation. Others may find greater satisfaction in oral sex, manual touch, or prolonged foreplay. The key is understanding and embracing the diversity of experiences and preferences, both within and between individuals. What works for one person may not work for another, and preferences can shift over time, further underscoring the need for open-mindedness and communication. This knowledge also carries a deeper social significance. By understanding that female orgasm doesn't always require penetration, couples can move away from rigid expectations and embrace communication, creativity, and mutual exploration. It reduces pressure on men who may feel solely responsible for their partner's climax through penetration, and empowers women to express what truly works for them. This shift in perspective not only deepens intimacy and trust between partners, but also encourages a more egalitarian and satisfying sexual relationship. Exploring new pathways to pleasure, discussing desires and boundaries, and prioritizing mutual satisfaction can transform sex from a goal-oriented activity into a shared journey of discovery. Moreover, recognizing the complexity of female pleasure helps to challenge the so-called orgasm gap, the well-documented phenomenon where men report orgasming much more frequently than women in heterosexual encounters. This gap is often attributed to a lack of understanding or attention to clitoral stimulation and the diversity of female sexual response. By becoming more attuned to these realities, partners can help close the gap, fostering more fulfilling encounters for everyone involved. Ultimately, the science of orgasm reveals something much larger about human behavior. Sexuality is not just about reproduction or physical release, but about connection, trust, and psychological fulfillment. Female pleasure, in particular, reminds us that the human body and mind are deeply intertwined. Recognizing this can help partners build healthier, more satisfying, and more authentic relationships, where intimacy is not limited to a single definition, but expanded into a spectrum of experiences that honor the full complexity of human desire. By embracing the diversity of female sexuality and moving beyond outdated myths, individuals and couples can create richer, more meaningful sexual lives that celebrate curiosity, respect, and the transformative power of pleasure.